Hey everyone, this is James Morgan. Hope everyone's doing great today. Hey, I've been getting a lot of, well, not a lot, but some emails and some direct messages on Facebook and other social media platforms. First of all, congratulating myself and Gary Husband and Hadrien Feraud towards me about our new album, A Soul in Time, which came out in May. It was produced by the late Dean Brown, myself, and Gary Husband. And it's a 5-song EP. You can go to Bandcamp and check it out. But a lot of people are interested, how I came to play with those two. And of course, being associated with Dean, because I came out of obscurity, basically, I'd say about 5 years ago. In 2020, really, is when I recorded my first record. So I thought I'd, give a little backstory on myself and why I think I am where I am. And my first album that I did, which was Invisible Time, was I did basically just to have a CD to give to potential talent buyers for venues and events, but it ended up getting nominated for Best Jazz Album of the Year by San Diego Music Awards. And then, of course, the next 3 albums were also nominated. So, I think I can say the reason I am where I am and the reason things are happening, where I have an album that's basically on, very successful right now. It's on the ballot for the 67th Grammy Awards, which I'm very excited about. And I'll say the one word that I think it's drive. If you have say for instance, you have a scale from 0 to 10, and say you're at 10 as far as your skill as a musician or an artist, but your drive is at 5, and then there's another artist whose skill is maybe at 5 on the 0 to 10 scale, but his drive is at 10. I can almost guarantee you the one with the drive at 10 is going to be more successful than the one with drive at 5. I don't care how talented you are. If you don't envision yourself and do the work every day that you need to do and feel you need to do and feel bad about yourself because you didn't do it, if you don't have that mindset, you're not going to achieve the success that you want for yourself. It's not about impressing anybody else. It's not about playing music for anybody else. For instance, I don't create music for other people. I create it for myself and what I like. And I've always done that. I'm kind of a maverick in that way. I stick to what I want. So drive, I think, is the most important thing, and surrounding yourself with people that have that same drive. For instance, if you have a band, a real band, and you say a 4-piece band, and you're the only one with the drive at 10 and the other ones are all at 5, you're going to have that much harder of a time of being successful. But if you have everyone at the 10 level, it's inevitable that you're going to be successful, whether it takes 5 years, 10 years, 15 years to do it. It's not a matter of about the time, it's about the effort. So I know for me, I started putting energy into marketing with smoothjazz.com Global Radio as my marketing partner. And they would send out email blasts to all the reporting stations around the world. And the charts come out every Monday. I would see who added me to their playlist. Those that did, I would send them an email on Tuesday and thank them. For the other maybe 80 that didn't, I would say, could you please add me? And I did that every week for 4 years, never missed a week. That's called drive. That's called putting in the work, the effort. And then, of course, practicing every day, at least 3 to 4 hours a day. You have to continue to practice. Even the greatest athletes in the world, they practice every day. Kobe Bryant, he was the first one in practicing, the last one to leave, and he was at the top of his game. So it's really, and then what you're doing by practicing is you're preparing yourself for the time that could happen, because you're putting all this effort because you envision yourself somewhere else other than where you are. And if that moment comes where someone say, hey, I'd like you to come and play on my album or tour with me, you're ready because you've been putting in the time and effort. So, and, I have, there's musicians that I know around me that are, they can read, they're more schooled, they've been playing with a lot of bands. Maybe they play 4 or 5 times a week with different bands or talk calls and this and that, but that's what they do. And they're not as successful as far as selling albums and, being on ballots for the Grammys and things like that, because they don't have that drive to do it. They're happy being a side musician or a top call musician to go and play other people's music and make a living. But for me personally, I never saw myself as a side musician, and out of default, because I play by ear and learned along the way by listening to music and other players and practicing and finding my own voice. Out of default, I became a band leader. So I was always a band leader, always played my own music that I wrote and with lead sheets. And most of the players I played with did read, and which was great because I would learn more about what I was doing from the feedback they would give me. Now, my second to last album, Groove and Smooth, I got a producer for. Now, a producer is a hired hand. So I was smart enough to know that after I built my brand, which was a Ghost Jazz Trio brand, to a point where I had 4 albums that were nominated, I was getting work from them and selling records, that I needed, if I was going to do another album, the 4th album, I should say, I needed a producer. And I ended up with Dean Brown, the legendary guitarist who passed away earlier this year, as my producer. And producers are great because they can, especially at his level, because they can see what you need to do or tap into to get the best out of you. Because we don't always know. It's hard to be subjective about ourselves. And I was fortunate that to have Dean part of that project. And then, of course, we ended up doing A Soul in Time, the album that's on the ballot for the Grammys right now. All this transpired because I have the drive. And I've always, told people I don't consider myself the greatest guitar player, the best technique in the world. Obviously, I don't read. I've just, and I don't consider myself the greatest songwriter in the world. But I know that I have the drive to do and believe in what I do. So, I have musicians around me that I play with, and they'll say, oh, you should play here or do this or do that. And I'll say, yeah, if you can get us gigs anywhere, do it. And I'd say 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, I'm the one that always gets the shows. They don't have the drive to go out there and do it. Here's a 4-album nominated album band, the Ghost Jazz Trio. And if you're associated with the band, you would think that the players would want to get out there and say, hey, I'm part of this band. It's been nominated 4 times, finished 2023 at number 73 in the top albums, 100 albums on the smooth jazz charts. The band leader is currently on the ballot for the 67th Grammy Awards. You should consider hiring us. That has never happened. And it's not, a lack of their musicianship. It's a lack of drive. And not everybody has it. You have to have that innate quality in you that drives you every day. So when I get up in the morning, I'm always thinking about what can I do today besides practicing. Or sometimes I'll even go on YouTube and I'll find something about, arpeggios or something that I want to learn. It sounds curious to me. Why I want to find out what that guy's talking about, or even philosophical. Rubin, I can't think of his first name. Rick Rubin, I think. There's so many people out there that have great insight into being successful and being an artist. So, and then recording in the recording studio, or even writing a song, especially in the recording studio, I'm not always thinking, oh, I need to do this. I need to get it to this point, or I want the song to be like this. To me, if you're trying to control it, it's not going to happen. Oftentimes, I know some people will go into the studio and they'll redo it 20 times because they're looking for that perfect time, when I'm just looking for the one that's going to transcend that, just the notion of what I want. But oftentimes it can be the first take because I've just gone in, I'm not thinking about it, and then I just rip a solo and I go, wow. For instance, on my last album, the solo on the song On the Edge was the first take. And I think I did 7 takes that day for that song. So, to my point. So again, drive is the key. That's all you have to have is drive, belief in yourself. It's not about ego. It's not about, it's also about putting content online. You're not bragging. You're not being egotistical by putting stuff online all the time. You're just trying to keep yourself exposed to the possibilities of what can happen. And that's what drive is. Drive is about putting yourself at every level you can, exposing who you are and your story, so that it might get wheels and start, going somewhere. So again, I attribute the fact where I am at short period of time. Obviously, I've been playing for 50 years, but in the last 5 years, I put energy into, because I left, career and other things that I was doing. I attribute it all to drive, just knowing what I want, knowing the kind of music I want to play. And I've been fortunate enough to provide income for other musicians as a band leader, helping put food on their table, exposing their talents to other people or fans, potential fans. So my advice is, if you want to make it, your life to be successful in whatever art it is, and not wait till you get too old, because what happens is people get older and then they get bitter about themselves and resentful of other people that are successful, because they resent the fact it's actually resentment of themselves, because they're realizing, because you think you're going to live forever when you're young, but then when you get older, you start realizing you don't have that much time left. And you kind of wasted it. You didn't put in the energy and time. So it's never too late. I'm an example of that. But again, people can resent you and have negative view of you because you're successful and they're not. But it has nothing to do with anything other than drive. They just didn't have the drive. They didn't have what you had to make it to where you feel like you're at a place you need to be. So my advice again is, find that drive, that passion in you, and do something every day that you can without fail. And once it becomes a habit, you don't even have to think about it anymore. And eventually what's supposed to happen to you will just happen. And that's why I think I'm in the position I'm in. It's just happening to me because of the time I put in, because I had the drive and the belief in myself. Don't mistake confidence in yourself and the belief in yourself for arrogance or egotistical personality. You just have drive. You have something they don't have, and it's called drive. So again, tap into your drive. Don't let it go. It'll take you to places you never thought you'd go. So that's my advice for today, and I hope everyone has a great November coming up. Enjoy your Halloween, and stay tuned. November 8th, I should find out if I'm on one of the nominees in the contemporary instrumental music category, along with Gary Husband, Hadrien Feraud, Eric Marienthal, and Joey De Leon. All right, everybody. I appreciate the time giving me a listen, and talk to everybody soon.